We are often reminded that we need to treat other people with kindness and prioritize the requirements of others above our own. But does anybody warn us that showing too much compassion and kindness might put us in harm's way? Because the world is filled with generous individuals who are aware that their giving empties them both financially and emotionally, we live in a world where we do not always receive what we give. This is because the world is full of people who recognize how giving empties them. Might it be that showing too much kindness might put our own lives at jeopardy? Be prepared to be shocked by the unfavorable outcomes that might result from your generous nature. Today, I'm going to tell you 8 terrible things that may occur to you if you're too polite. And I'm also going to show you 4 difficult methods to prevent other people from taking advantage of you. I hope you find this information helpful. Without further ado, let's get straight to the top of the list. You will have unrealistic expectations of other people. The Stoics advocated that we should not condition our happiness on the actions of others, but instead should learn to accept things for what they are. Giving to others without expecting too much in return protects you from feeling let down and teaches you how to exercise emotional detachment, both of which contribute to a more peaceful state of mind. When we give, it's difficult for us to offer completely selflessly, regardless of whether or not we are conscious of this fact. When we give all we have the expectation that everyone else will contribute the same amount. You've gotten people so accustomed to having everything done for them that they'll take it for granted that you can manage everything in their life and yours. However, when it's us who need something vital, you've gotten people so used to having everything done for them that they'll take it for granted that you can handle everything, especially your own. Because if you don't take care of your own, why would you bother taking care of other people's if you don't even take care of your own? In point of fact, your expectations of reciprocity won't be realized, and as a result, you'll find yourself in a foul mood, feeling weary, angry, and depressed. However, if we take an objective view of the situation, we can see that other people aren't letting you down. Rather, they're simply doing what you need to be doing, which is taking care of their own responsibilities. The second point is that people will only want you to offer them something, and this is what they will expect from you. It is essential to keep in mind, according to the Stoics, that true value is not derived from just complying with the desires of other people, but rather from behaving in a manner that is morally upstanding and rational. You may avoid developing habits that are detrimental to your mental health by practicing moderation and giving in a manner that is balanced. This will help you maintain control over your activities. You've probably heard the phrase, "People are creatures of habit" throughout your whole life, and this couldn't be more accurate. People are conditioned to conform to a routine, a way of life, and a symphony of activities occurring in their immediate environment. This need for something new is where the concept of a comfort zone originates. This implies that the individuals you aid will begin to anticipate receiving something from you on a regular basis if you are consistently kind toward them. You will guide them into their comfort zones, and since you will be there to handle many of their obligations, they won't have to do many of them themselves because you will do them. If you don't appreciate yourself, no one will look you in the eyes and encourage you to think more about yourself because they don't believe you're worth it. At the very least, you shouldn't anticipate this kind of empathy from the individuals you aid, since they will continue to follow their own personal Robin Hood, which will result in a significant amount of additional difficulty in their life. Third, your objectives will not be taken into consideration in any way. If we wish to maintain a healthy equilibrium and not give up our individuality or our well-being for the sake of other people, the Stoics said that we should lead lives guided by reason and virtue, that we should impose boundaries on ourselves, and that we should prioritize our own obligations. If you prioritize the requirements of others above your own, you can find that you wind up evading some aspect of yourself that both hurts and frightens you in the process. How do you feel when you have to spend the weekend by yourself, or when you get home from work each day knowing that there is no one there to meet you? If you are doing so many different things because you want to get away from yourself, the blow will be twice as painful because, on the one hand, you'll have to face yourself sooner or later, and on the other hand, your bad mood will become worse as you start to put other people's needs before your own. If you are doing so many different things because you want to get away from yourself, the blow will be twice as hard because, on the one hand, you'll have to face yourself sooner or later. One of the most significant aspects of staying healthy is practicing good self-care. Before you can assist in the recovery of the feelings of others, you must first ensure that you are content, pampered, and properly taken care of. To put it another way, you should never offer someone a chocolate until you have first really enjoyed eating one yourself. In the same vein, you shouldn't offer to clean your friend's home until you've finished cleaning your own and relaxing with a nice movie and a glass of wine beforehand. Everyone else in the world will chase after you. 4. Other people will see you as being weak and will treat you in that manner as a result. Stoicism encourages us to forge our own inner fortitude and take responsibility of our own destinies. It is possible to demonstrate to other people that we are dedicated to our own obligations and ideas if we practice self-discipline and establish boundaries for ourselves. This will allow us to gain their respect rather than being perceived as weak. You run the risk of being seen as an authority in the field in which you collaborate with other people if you assist other individuals an excessive amount over time. It's possible that I'm getting the complete opposite impression from you. People will start to see you as weak if you don't establish boundaries for yourself, just as they would if you challenge a superior. To such an extent that people will come to you in order to escape their obligations, since they are certain that you won't refuse their request. On the other hand, as soon as you utter this magic phrase, people will begin to feel something for you that they never believed they would feel in the first place, and that is respect. You might expect a large number of buts, also known as those who only come to you when they have a problem. Stoicism instills in us an appreciation for the value of acquiring knowledge and experience throughout time. We can discern the difference between genuine individuals and those who want to take advantage of us by using self-control and perspective while deciding who to assist. This allows us to avoid wasting our time and effort on things that aren't beneficial to us in any way. People who previously considered you to be a good friend now only want to get out with you when they need something specific from you. If you give it some thought, it's not that odd that anything like this might happen to you, considering that most individuals don't even ask their colleagues or co-workers out for a cup of coffee, much alone a drink with them on the weekend. Even if what's happening to you makes perfect logic, it doesn't imply it's right or fair. To prevent other people from taking advantage of you, you will need to get familiar with the strategies that I will discuss at the conclusion of this section. 6th, you will only get people who want something, but you will never get those who want to offer something. We are able to form connections that are genuine and beneficial to both sides if we use discretion and patience. People are drawn into our life because the energy they exude are compatible with our own. If we vibrate at a low frequency, for example, we are more likely to attract individuals who are unhappy, sad, have dark spirits, and desire to do us harm. On the other side, when our vibrations are high, we attract individuals who are full of positive energy, friendliness, enthusiasm, hard work, and joy. This happens when our vibrations are high. As a result of this, when we give to everyone, we expend a significant amount of energy, which causes our vibration to slow down to a low level. This causes those who are in need to feel pulled to us, as well as opportunists who don't really want to assist but simply want to grab what they can from us and then go without even saying thank you. 7. You run the risk of becoming dependent on a certain activity. Stoicism encouraged its followers to maintain composure and a sense of personal mastery. Giving with self-discipline prevents us from falling into the trap of unhealthy habits and allows us to maintain a healthy connection with the acts and decisions we make. When scarcity is a consistent feature of our life, the need for something increases, which is one of the most effective ways to develop an addiction. Someone who is close to you may realize one day that you consume an unhealthy amount of liquids overall, not just spring water. They may also see that you consume an excessive amount of food and even gamble an excessive amount of money. Listen carefully to what a person who cares about you has to say, even if your first reaction may be to get angry with them and insist that you do not have any issues, since this indicates that you are not paying close enough attention to what they are saying. But this is how individuals often behave when they are so preoccupied with their own issues that they are unable to see that they have a problem in the first place. Always keep in mind that the people who care about you want what is best for you. So listen carefully to what they have to say, since they are attempting to help you stop falling and go on in life. People will give you a second thought because of number 8. Stoicism encourages us to be kind to others regardless of what we believe other people think of us. When we make it a priority to conduct our lives in accordance with our values and ideals, we establish a positive reputation that is resilient in the face of unfounded allegations. It doesn't matter how much we want for things to be different. The fact of the matter is that there aren't all that many kind individuals in the world. If this describes you, then others will see you with suspicion rather than admiration and gratitude if you are one of them. It won't be long before others start to wonder what's going on with you and what secret intentions you have that you aren't sharing with anybody else because of your generosity. It's possible that you've come across a bunch of dishonest individuals, but it's more probable that they're simply being straightforward with you. The vast majority of individuals who wish to help too much are likely harboring such nefarious ambitions that it is preferable to avoid them and decline the assistance that they offer. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about what you can do to prevent other individuals from taking advantage of you. First piece of advice: pay attention to how you feel, since that sensation is trying to convey information to you. Pay attention to how you are feeling in order to practice the Stoic philosophy of self-awareness. The Stoics held the belief that it was necessary to reflect on oneself in order to fully comprehend one's emotions and desires. Whether you pay attention to how you're feeling, you'll be able to recognize whether you're pushing yourself mentally beyond your limits and providing too much. This enables you to shift your attention and create a healthy equilibrium in your life. What emotions do you have when you are able to assist other people? When you do something as selfless as thinking about yourself and putting yourself first, you should have the sensation that you are floating on clouds, since it is such a wonderful thing to do. Therefore, if you are feeling overworked, exhausted, irritated, or used, it is important to pay attention to how you are feeling. You shouldn't tell a lie to yourself about something that causes you to feel so badly if it's something that you don't have to do. Instead, you should investigate how the aid you are providing will impact your health. The second strategy is to get over your phobia of the word no. If you follow the teachings of the Stoics, you should be aware that your time and energy are valuable resources that must be used in a manner that strikes a healthy balance. Demonstrating self-control is being able to say no when you believe you do not have the time to do something or when the request seems unreasonable. It is common for us to find it difficult to say no, despite the fact that the word no prompts us to think of negative things and feelings of grief. But if we don't learn to speak this word when someone asks more of us than we can offer, pessimism will take over our lives and we won't be able to enjoy life. Perform your drills in front of the mirror and convince yourself that this is the only way to reclaim your independence and stay away from dangers that aren't absolutely required. Strategy 3. Recognize that you have a space and a time for yourself and act accordingly. It is essential to make time and space for oneself in order to practice self-care, since this is one of the core Stoic ideals, along with self-discipline and respect for oneself. You may engage in an activity that you like, such as going on a run, painting, listening to music while sipping tea, or anything else that makes you energized. Complete your obligations as quickly as you possibly can so that you may experiment with this. You need to give this a high level of consideration, enough so that you should make a point of scheduling time for it every day or every week. Therefore, if someone asks for your assistance at such moment, they need to be extremely courteous and helpful to you and not to the person who asked for their assistance. Therefore, without feeling any regret, you tell them no and take pleasure in having that time and space all to yourself. You may offer to assist at a different time, but be sure to make it plain that you will only be able to help for a limited period of time due to the fact that you have other things that you need to accomplish. This is an alternative to being too direct. Identifying people who drain your energy and then removing yourself from their presence is the fourth strategy. It is essential, while adhering to the Stoic ideals of self-discipline and knowledge, to be aware of the kind of connections that are beneficial to you and those that have the potential to psychologically deplete you. You are taking care of your own health and demonstrating Stoic self-control in your relationships when you avoid spending time with folks who continually sap your energy and don't bring anything beneficial to the conversation. You should be aware that if you attempt to assist someone who steals energy, your efforts will be fruitless. These individuals inundate you with their gripes, their aches, and their pessimistic outlook on life. It is not worth your time to attempt to assist them, because if their issues were resolved, they would be forced to give up their moaning. They wouldn't put up with stuff like that at all. In conclusion, the Stoic philosophy asserts that the best way to evaluate everything in life is to find the middle ground, and generosity is no exception to this rule. If we offer too little, others may see us as self-centered and greedy. But if we give too much, we run the risk of entirely depleting our reserves of energy, time, and maybe even financial resources as well. Therefore, you should lean toward the gray areas, which continue to be the greatest alternatives for establishing a balance between placing the needs of other people before your own needs and putting your own wants before the needs of other people. And whenever you find yourself in doubt, simply remind yourself of the key word: no. Even more so if they offer to take you home while you sit in the passenger seat of their vehicle and watch from the window. We've reached the end of this journey, and I sincerely hope these tips will be of great use to you. Don't forget that you are a crucial part of this channel, so if this video has helped you, made you think, or you've learned something, give it a thumbs up so that more people can discover the powers of Stoic wisdom. Consider becoming a member of our channel. We will be setting weekly challenges for you to do that will help you incorporate Stoicism into your own day-to-day life.